From the Clark Ford Studio in Oxford, Mississippi, MBW Digital proudly presents the Oxford Exxon Podcast.
I'd say thanks for tuning in, but why am I going to give you a round of applause for something you're supposed to do, to be frank?
And now, here are your hosts, Chase Parham.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
And Neal McCready.
I deserve to be on TV.
Monday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal McCready, Clark Ford Studio this morning. It is Ole Miss's bye week. Rebels 5-3 overall, 1-3 in the SEC at this point. Four games remaining, all SEC games. Couple at home, couple on the road as well. They'll return next Saturday against South Carolina here in Oxford. Then back-to-back trips to A&M and Vanderbilt prior to that finale on Thanksgiving night against Mississippi State. So we'll look at picks today. We'll talk a little Auburn. We'll just kind of shoot the whatever and see where it takes us this week because, frankly, it's a bye week. So I don't know. We'll see where this thing goes today. But plenty of coverage at rebelgrove.com. You can go there. Neal's 10 weekend thoughts are up. For some reason, about 9:30 last night, I wrote 1,000 words on game day atmosphere at Ole Miss. That is on the website as well. So those things are up. Plenty of football content and more coming to you in the next day or so as well. Matt Luke talking at regular time today. Phil Longo, Wesley McGriff talking at regular time today as well. The podcast is brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Get your lunch specials. Get your ribs for the weekend, even though Ole Miss is not playing a game. Still call ahead. Let them take care of you. Make it easy for your leisurely weekend. Got a honey-to-do list. Take the food off the menu for that. Get it done with them. Also, Speed Pass Plus app. Save money right there at the pump. You don't have to worry about identity theft, credit card theft, any of those things. Instead, they take care of you and make it efficient and money-saving for you with the Oxford Exxon and Speed Pass Plus app. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what new Ford you are looking for. And then you can hang out for 15 minutes. And then about 15 minutes later, you'll get an email with a quote. Whatever you're looking for, if you're looking for comparing a couple of vehicles, he'll send you a couple of quotes. Just tell him what you want, what you're looking for, what you're trying to do. He's going to try to help you. You're going to get your quote, and from there you can shop it around, or you can let Corey and the people at Clark Ford do for you what they've done for me and so many others, and that's take the hassle out of the everyday car buying experience. Get a great Ford product, phenomenal service after the sale. Corey will go the extra mile. He wants to be your truck guy. He wants to be your car guy. If you do business with him, you'll see what I mean. 662-257-1900. Tell him that you heard about Clark Ford on the podcast, and you'll save an additional $500 on your already great deal from Clark Ford.
Oh, gosh. You already got your Christmas cards ready and everything? I'm already done with that part of my life for the holidays. Really? Yeah. I just, 2 seconds ago, my wife sent me the proof for the Christmas card, already done on October, whatever today is.
Yeah, see, y'all still have a little one, and so women, this is I'm a stereotype, and it's true. And
yeah.
For the 6% of you that listen, if you disagree, understand that not all stereotypes
are. We moving from 4% to 6% now?
I think we're higher than 4%.
I think we're higher than 6%. It just kind of rolled off the tongue. So
I do too.
Go ahead.
If you told me we were 8 or 9% right now, I'd believe it.
All right, go ahead.
I got stopped by some very nice female listeners of our podcast on Friday as I was leaving the square.
Need a name for them. Got to come up with it. Go ahead. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Angels.
Okay.
Where was I? Oh,
not
yeah.
the kind that are narratives.
Yeah. There's no 100% on anything.
Yeah.
But women with young children go insane with Christmas cards. They want to make sure that the baby, the little boy, the little girl, the little boys, little girls, whatever the case may be, are decked out in the most Christmassy little outfits possible. They will spend money on a professional photographer if necessary. They will get those photos. They want to send that out to a gazillion people. It is the card equivalent of, and I didn't live in this era, and so you obviously did not either. Apparently, back in the day, people would send the braggy Christmas letter.
Yes, we still get a couple of those from people where they do the big letters telling you everything that's happened over the course of the year with everybody.
This is just the equivalent of that. It's just a more modern, more
southern thing, probably. I would assume.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm guessing.
I'm going to guess that's probably true, but I don't know. So if you are from Minnesota and you're listening to this and you're going, no, it happens here.
I send 187 Christmas cards. Okay, yeah. And typically we'll do a holiday card more than Christmas, not because of a religion thing, but just because sometimes it's kind of late when we get it out, so it's more of a like, hey, Happy New Year.
In this case, it's Happy Halloween.
Oh, no, we're all good now, even though it's not like red and green, though. Like, it doesn't have a lot of Christmassy feel to it. It's a little more.
Is it all of you or just her?
It's one photo with the three of us and then one photo with her. It's like a two-sided deal.
Yeah, we never did one ever that included either of us in the photo.
Just the kid?
Just the kids. At one point, it was just the dogs.
But we did them every year prior to Carly Ann, too.
Yeah.
We've always done them.
Yeah, we haven't done one in years.
Helps us keep track of addresses for whatever reason I might need them in the future, too. Kind of does that. They're freaking expensive.
I know.
You unload a fortune on Christmas cards over the course of the year.
I've enjoyed those savings over the last few years. We've not done one in ages.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind doing them. That's one of the things where it was something I'd kind of roll my eyes at. For whatever reason, I go, okay, I'm fine with it.
The last one we did, we took the pictures out in the back, and the kids were like, I'm not doing this again. And it was like, okay.
You just send a generic card out with like a tree on it or something without the kid in it.
Yeah, or just let it go.
Okay.
If they're really your friends, you'll keep hearing from them.
Think so.
If it requires a Christmas card, they're probably not your real.
I think there's some people that don't get your card even though you didn't send them out, and now they're pissed. And they go, well, I was not on his list because I've gotten one every single year, and now this year I've been removed from the McCready mailing list.
It's possible. You can tell I'm really bothered by the thought of that.
I don't think you're bugged.
Not even a little.
In the slightest.
I finished the Scott Fowler. People always ask us podcast recommendation. We get that a lot. Scott Fowler, the Charlotte Observer, been there forever. Really one of the rare guys who's been at a newspaper and stayed there forever. Has been there throughout the Ray Caruth, from the murder to the trial. To Ray Caruth was released from prison today at 8:02 a.m. Eastern Time, 7:02 our time. He walked out of prison as a free man. He has, as much as it is unbelievable, given what he did, he has paid his debt to society, the debt that was determined by a jury of, I guess, his peers, and he walked out a free man. I finished Scott Fowler's podcast. It's simply called Caruth. It's 7 parts. It is fantastic. It is incredibly well done. The last couple of episodes are, frankly, as you can probably hear in my voice, pretty difficult to just sort of get through. But it's excellent if you're looking for a podcast that will keep you riveted. I ran through it in about 2 days.
A lot of journalists, a lot of things. You know, in the 80s and 90s, even into the 2000s, it was, hey, if there's a subject, let's write a book. Now they do podcast series. The podcast series is starting to replace the kind of the one-off book from a journalist or reporter or whatever it is in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Frankly, you probably make more money than you do off that self-published book that you're just trying to get out there for a fan base or something.
No, those make a lot of money. Those self-published.
I hear they're bestsellers even sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you want to cheer, really.
Does it?
You know, go Tigers or Flim Flam or whatever the case may be.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Yeah.
Bulldogs and Tigers are two very generic, prominent mascots across the country.
Yeah.
I think Tigers is the number one mascot across the country. Right?
I would think.
I think it's Tigers.
Yeah. Who doesn't like a tiger?
Yeah. I mean, I saw a box of tiger food in the stands on the field on Saturday.
Yeah, there was a lizard dressed up as a UPS man passing out tiger food with 2 minutes left in a game. That the Tigers...
all we lacked was the Magnolia Bowl trophy. We would have had this whole thing.
You know what? That would be great. If Ole Miss ever beats LSU again, they should send the lizard out to get the trophy.
Should they? The lizard. You liked that, didn't you? You read it. You liked that.
You want to start there? Because a lot of people are asking about it. Let me say this before we get going on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to be quick.
All right.
I'm not getting into the mascot thing. I think the shark idea is a great idea.
Let's start with the shark thing. I'm not getting into the mascot thing today.
Well, I don't want to dwell on it. I just want to say this. You wrote about it. I wrote about it. I wrote about it because I witnessed something on Friday that I kept to myself until multiple people said it to me, and I realized I wasn't alone.
Okay.
I went up to Square Jam, if I'm honest, because I was afraid there would be other writers there, and I wanted to cover it if it was being covered. I don't really think it's a coverable event much because it's a fan event. It's cool. Square Jam's cool.
Yeah. All good with
let me give Ole Miss credit for something. Square Jam is a phenomenal idea. Mm-hmm. And on Friday night, the weather was perfect. Mm-hmm. It was beautiful. Fall evening on the square in Oxford, and there was a buzz. The square was packed, frankly. I parked down at the YMCA Big Bad Breakfast. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to find a place to park. I just parked down there and walked.
A couple bar owners and restaurant people in town told me that this past weekend was busier than the Alabama weekend.
I can see it.
Yeah.
So I walked up. It was pretty night. Frankly, I was listening to Caruth as I walked. I was fine. I got up to the square. There was a lot of people. There was a buzz. People were in a good mood. Mm-hmm. Ole Miss does a fantastic job with setting up the court. Mm-hmm. They had it lit up great. It was really picturesque. And there were a lot of people there. Mm-hmm. And the players got there, the cheerleaders, the Rebelettes, all that stuff were there. And they had Seth Greenberg, the former Virginia Tech coach, now at ESPN, mm-hmm. was the MC. I think he and Kermit Davis are really good friends.
Wearing Blue Delta jeans.
He was wearing Blue Delta jeans, yes. Mm-hmm. And a red, what appeared to be a red polo. I couldn't quite tell. But anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter what he was wearing. He was getting ready to do the MC stuff. They were getting ready to introduce the players.
Get the show on the road.
Get the thing going, you know. And from everything I'm told, I heard it was a great show. Slam dunk competition, 3-point competition.
Got a lot of kids involved. Neat stuff there.
Did some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
I got nothing but compliments except for this. And it didn't bother me. I was just observing. I'm walking around, frankly, seeing if Parrish Alford's there or other people there. Do I need to stay? You know, what's up? And they said, hey, before we get going, we want to start this new tradition. Well, that's like when you call it something a first annual. It's an oxymoron. You can't start a new tradition. Traditions are not forced. Traditions are things that occur somewhat organically, in my opinion. You might disagree, and if you do, that's okay.
I mean, you obviously have to have implementation of things to get there eventually.
You do.
There's a difference in, hey, we're going to kind of do this, and I'm going to force it down your throat.
Right, and that's my point. When you call something, we've got this new tradition.
Everybody in. Here we go.
And I realize that's just vernacular. No one meant anything, any malice by it, nothing like that. It's just, well, it might become a tradition, and it might not. You know? It's like sometimes you just family holiday things don't become a tradition because you make them become a tradition. They become a tradition because they just do.
That's what we do.
Right. Maybe your family for Christmas does prime rib. Well, you didn't do prime rib the first year going, this is what we're going to do from every year on. Someone liked it. And then someone came back and they said,
next year, let's do it again.
Can we do prime rib again? That was awesome. And then the third year.
Before you know it, it's a decade later.
Yeah, 6 years later, it's I can't wait for the prime rib on Christmas Day. It makes me think of family and blah, blah, blah.
And you don't even really know when it happened. It just sort of happened.
Exactly. That's how traditions work.
Yeah.
At Iowa, that was not designed to be, hey, we're going to do this every game. It was going to be a one game. Wave to the kids.
Yeah, I understand.
And then it went so organic, and it moved people in such a way that now people like me who've never been to the state of Iowa want to go to an Iowa game so I can wave to the kids. That's how traditions are formed. Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, Billy Brewer brought the Walk of Champions.
Yeah.
Ole Miss had not always done that.
And it worked.
It worked, and now you wouldn't think of not walking through the Grove to the stadium.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're going to do this new tradition, and they do it's like the first fin thing that they do in football, and I don't know how it works. as I wrote in 10 Thoughts, I'm not one to pay attention to these things.
And we can't always hear in the press box. It's an enclosed structure.
Right.
I can't hear what's out there all the time.
Right. I can sort of see it, and if I'm honest, I'm a distracted game watcher. I'm either writing or I'm following another game or something. I'm not the most attentive person in the stadium. And I just felt the oxygen get sucked out of there. The buzz went away. And I'm sure the buzz returned for the event. But the buzz went away. People were awkward. Seth Greenberg was like, hey, we got to do better with this. You got to clap more. And he's, no, it's not that, Seth. It's I don't know who was dressed up in it. It didn't look right. That's all. Just an observation. And I walked away. That's not what I talked about when I left and talked to people. It's not what I talked about when I got home. But it's what came up in conversations. I got texts from people. And I always think this. If I'm getting 5 texts, he's getting 20. And then people saw me on Saturday morning. They're like, hey, what's the deal with that? And why are we doing that? And then the football game went badly. And people were irritated, and it's a source of irritation. That's all I've noticed. I think the brand is great. I think the marks are great. I think the merchandise is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's brilliant. I've said this since day one, and I'm usually wrong. I think I'm right on this. I'm usually an idiot who gets most everything wrong. I'm in last place on Neal's picks. I get a lot of stuff wrong. I think I'm right when I said they should go with the fluffy shark.
It's confusing. It's a confusing look. There's no doubt about that. Just have some ability to get off script a little bit. I mean, the thing that you and I noticed is we're standing in there with Richard Cross in the last 2 or 3 minutes of this game. You wrote about this, and
it's 31-9 at the time, and Ole Miss is trying to score.
And in between them going to him on the field, Richard walks over, and we're just having a conversation about whatever. I don't know. It wasn't about the shark at the beginning. We were just kind of talking.
Really weren't talking about anything much.
Yeah, just kind of, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And we kind of all look over, and he's changing clothes, I guess, at that moment. And Neal thought he was a UPS driver.
Because he was putting on all brown.
I thought he was a zookeeper. I don't know.
I think you're right.
You think he's a zookeeper?
I think you were right.
Or even like,
although I'm not embarrassed,
or even like the crocodile hunter, like a like a Steve Irwin almost kind of looking deal.
Maybe
kind of wore brown. But I was thinking along those lines.
See, he had the box and he had on all brown. So I thought it was like, what can Brown do for you? And they delivered the box.
But the box had tiger food on it. Really.
Right.
It was just a cardboard box.
Right.
And like it was just kind of like he was getting. Not in a malice way like the bear where some people go, hey, somebody might throw a battery at him or something. Like, it wasn't that, but it was just sort of, hey, there's a minute and a half to go in the game. You're down 31-9. Just scrap that part. Just let him go with the cheerleaders and do a little cheer and move on with your day. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just sort of one of those unnecessary negative things that really I didn't understand at the moment was kind of what it was.
Well, earlier in the game, they put this official's uniform on him. And I know everybody does that kind of stuff. The officiating was a big subject of conversation in the first half. It's not why you lost the game.
It's probably not why they put him in the shark.
Probably not.
I mean, that would be.
I was just like, what are you doing? Just chill with it. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those things I just think sometimes it's been.
It's as I wrote yesterday. We when I say we, I mean anyone around Ole Miss in any capacity. We're so ingrained now to talk about a freaking mascot because of the last 15 years where most of the time it's not even noticeable, and maybe over the course of a decade he blends in more. I don't know. We'll see. Right now he doesn't blend in at all. Right now he sticks out. There's no doubt about that. And two, I wrote this. Look, winning cures a lot of crap. Cures more crap than anything else. As I said, when you're winning, everything tastes a little better. All the music has a little catchier of a tune. Everything's great. Okay. But Ole Miss is just kind of in a pissed-off mood right now. And I mean the fans. I mean a lot of faculty, staff. There's just a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And when that's happening, that bleeds over into everything else. So, I mean, I said this, and some people kind of challenged me on it, but I'm exactly right. And now, yes, maybe I know some other people and whatever, and I don't have the same fan base interactions as a lot of you do. More people ask me about a freaking IHL date on Saturday than they did anything about the football game.
People challenged you on that?
No, just ask me when it is, when it's happening.
Oh.
That's what they want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people believe this November meeting that was originally on campus that's now back in the boardroom will have something to do with Jeffrey Vitter. And that was the predominant thing that got brought up to me over the course of Saturday. Hey, you hearing anything? You hearing that meeting's still there? That's what it was. They didn't want to talk about linebacker play. They didn't want to talk about mascots. They didn't want to talk about Matt Luke or Wesley McGriff. They wanted to talk about the IHL. That's a problem with a university that any fan knows anything about a freaking board meeting. Those should never be in any bit of lexicon for a fan base. And right now it is. And that's a huge problem. They just need something good to happen. They've got to fill this leadership void, and everything sort of falls into place when that happens. Then the other thing I wrote here that I'll tell you about in a minute. We're kind of running a little bit of time. That's okay. We'll come back to it in a second. Neil, we made fun of it last week, but the reason they're putting Christmas stuff into Home Depot is because people are interested and it works. They build those buildings and expand for a purpose. So with Christmas around the corner, Master Cuts wants to keep your home looking up to par through the holiday season. They offer a variety of outdoor Christmas decorations that would transform your house into a festive staple of the neighborhood. They provide anything from lighting and garland to inflatable characters, whatever your vision may be. Master Cuts works with you to design a custom display unique to your home. The best part, all the decorations you pay for, you will own. Master Cuts will keep and store the decorations until they're ready to go up the next year or give them to you to keep. The option is yours. Start a tradition with your family and cherish the years to come. It's called Master Cuts. Get a free quote, 662-607-7773.
Let me tell you a little bit about rebelgrove.com. It's part of the Rivals Network. There's a lot of cool things coming to rebelgrove.com and rivals.com over the next couple of months. You want to be a part of it, and you can be part of the community. A couple of things that are on rebelgrove.com. As we speak, my post-game column from Auburn's victory over Ole Miss is up. It is sponsored by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust is based in Madison, Mississippi, but it represents clients in 24 states. It has advisors in 3 states. It was founded in 1997, and Pinnacle Trust provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Pinnacle Trust, investing is treated like a commodity, and decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. Regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan. Cookie-cutter financial planners put you in a box. Pinnacle Trust builds a box just for you. To learn more about Pinnacle Trust, go to pintrust.com. That's PINN Trust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fee. Also up on rebelgrove.com are my 10 weekend thoughts. Mostly Ole Miss and SEC as a World Series pick. There's a drink of the week, which after the weekend that I had, I needed a drink of the week. You can get that. There's some links and things for you to enjoy as well. It's sponsored by Harry Alexander. Harry is an Oxford-based RE/MAX Legacy Realty agent. Harry's been in Oxford more than 4 decades. No one knows the residential and condo market in Oxford better than Harry. Go to his site. He'll prove it to you. It's harryalexander.com. Click on the Properties and Neighborhoods tab. Filter through by what you are looking for, and then send him an email. It's ha@harryalexander.com. I'm also taking questions for the mailbag. I guess it's edition 8 or 9 now. I'm losing track. It's brought to you by the Westin Jackson. The Westin Jackson's a phenomenal hotel. It is also home to Soul Visit Soul Spa. It's the ultimate luxury spa experience in downtown Jackson. Indulge in personalized massages, signature facials, soothing body treatments, and much more on their extensive spa list. Escape from the everyday and rejuvenate yourself in their luxury spa today. And it's also home to Estelle Wine Bar and Bistro. You can sip on a creative craft cocktail or enjoy their curated wine list. It's open for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and Sunday brunch. Chef Caden's mission is to connect guests with the community through local partnerships. So gather at Estelle tonight.
So, okay. I put, basically big flashing red signs around this paragraph last night. Again, read the entirety at rebelgrove.com. It's probably should link it out front, frankly. But it's something that struck me. So keep this in context. I'm not freedom fighting here. Neal and I had talked about things being corporate at Ole Miss on Saturday. I feel like the game day was stale, corporate, and now a lot of the advertising, the honoring, it does feel corporate because there's so many. I mean, there's certain things that make all the sense in the world, but, let's minimize it to some extent on the field. I think that's what a lot of the fan base is saying. Also, Ole Miss is not just corporate. It's generic right now. And there are reasons behind this. Again, I'm not advocating for anything to come back really at all. But it took the main three things that fans grew up with at Ole Miss games away over the last 15 years. Colonel Rebel, From Dixie with Love, and Dixie. Those were the three things that when you went to a game, you said, hey, what does Ole Miss do during a football game? They play those two songs. What's the difference
between Dixie and From Dixie with Love?
Dixie is the fast-paced song, whatever. From Dixie with Love has the Battle Hymn of the Republic as part of it. It's slow. It's the more methodical song.
Gotcha. It's the one they play at the end.
That's correct, yes. The one that caused the stir with the slurs.
Yes.
Okay.
And they still play it at the library, I'm told, and it still is.
Yes.
Still includes the chant. So for the people that say the kids won't chant it, yes, they absolutely will.
No, they can't chant it on the weekends. They're all gone. And at any school, you take away the trio of things that most people associate with that game day experience, it's going to look generic. It's going to have a void, and it's going to be very hard to feel by new things because everything's going to feel like new traditions that are out of place and don't make a lot of sense. So that's a challenge that I don't envy with Ole Miss right now because it's just sort of the way it is. I mean, it brings out the stuff that was kind of just okay. Yeah, everybody always heard I saw the light and it was fine or whatever. But now when it's become almost a focal point because of the other things missing, it just creates a bland atmosphere, especially when you don't have a full crowd, when you're not winning most weeks. I mean, you look at the home games this year. Ole Miss's best performances have been on the road. They won in Houston against Texas Tech. They beat Arkansas and Little Rock. The home games have been a dud so far this season for Ole Miss. So I do think that an administration, a marketing team, having to replace the things that fans have in their memory bank, the things that they made memories around growing up. Because, look, the students, they just want to get alcohol in. They'd like to kind of not be in the heat, and they'd like to see a winning program to stay for most of the game. That's all the students are doing. But for the majority of the rest of the crowd, they have some semblance of years invested where it doesn't look like it always looked in the past, and that's a hard thing to replicate, to fix, and to repair from a game day atmosphere standpoint, and that's caused Ole Miss to be very generic right now.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, you take Rocky Top and the Dog away from Tennessee, and they go, well, what's Tennessee?
It'd be like if you took the Bulldogs away and you took the Cowbells away.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have
much
stuff. That's what they do. You ring the bell. It's little stuff.
But when it's all together, it's a big thing. It's three. It's not one. It's three.
Yeah, what I was going to say was, and I stopped myself. There was one particular honoring that. Remember, I mentioned to you, I'm like, why are they doing that now?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know what it is that sometimes gets done. And if you're winning, nobody really cares. But when you're not winning, and they're not going to win for a little while. These are things that become crisis if you're not careful. And they might disagree with me when I say that. I don't know that it's crisis level right now, but
it's also a school that's already having to deal with getting people from the Grove to the stadium, which has been a problem for years and decades, and however long the Grove's been an attraction.
Well, it's a school that, quite frankly, is having a hard time people getting to come to school.
Yeah, but that's not what this
is.
That's not.
But as you go, you got to start fixing these things. You've got to, and I don't know how. I'm glad it's not my job. I wouldn't know where to start, other than a fluffy shark.
A fluffy shark will fix all this. I'm kidding. Yeah, I really like San Jose Sharks, their mascot.
It's perfectly good. Yeah, exactly.
He looks a little bit like a hammerhead or something, though. I don't know, but anyway.
But you could soften him up.
Think so?
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't mean he was not like he just has a weird looking head. Like
yeah,
his head kind of looks like Rizzo's, like it's just kind of blocky.
Yeah,
and,
Rizzo has a big head.
Yeah, it's just a little strange. But I get it, I guess is where I'm going with this. I completely understand it. And all these things, yeah, every one of these things is a little bitty thing. But when we're talking about 10 different things, well, over the course of that, it becomes a very large percentage of your game day environment and your MO and your whole deal. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
No, I'm totally.
I kind of hate doing what I'm doing because it's, hey, here's all the problems. Well, how do we fix it? I don't know.
I don't know how. That's why I kind of say this to defend some of the people who are charged with fixing it.
It's not easy.
I mean, it's a really hard fix. If it were an easy fix, they'd fix it. Some of the fix is winning. And there's leftover frustration from the NCAA.
That's what I'm saying. Ole Miss is just in a bad mood. It's Chancellor, it's NCAA, it's everything. It's been a program or a school, frankly, that since the Sugar Bowl ended, it's had a lot of crap going on. You look up, the baseball team's going to be really good, but they lose to Tennessee Tech. They haven't won a regional since 2014. Both basketball teams are picked dead last in the SEC going into the thing, even though Kermit's done a really great job trying to rally boosters and different things. I mean, it's just a weird time for Ole Miss currently.
Yeah. I mean, the prime example was I was one of the voters on the SEC thing, and I voted Ole Miss 13th. And had some people at first, well, they're better than that. And then they come out 14th, and some people goes, you're a homer. And I don't know where you put them any higher than that. It's what do you do? And there's just it's a rough time. I mean, whatever happened between Hugh Freeze and Mike Sheridan in Oxford happened in, February or March of 2013, and here we are almost to November of 2018, and the thing's not completely finished yet. I mean,
I am so ready to get through a month of podcast without ever mentioning the word Chancellor or IHL or NCAA. Any of those three.
I think we're closing in on being able to say that about NCAA. The other two, I don't think we're there yet.
Well, no, because look, let's say that there is some semblance to this, and it's 60 days or whatever it is for Vitter. I don't know. Again, I'm just talking. You hear a lot. I hear a lot. I mean, I don't know. I mean, No. I don't know. Nothing would shock me.
I've got one source who told me something that was quasi-definitive, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay, fair enough. Point being, let's say there is a change in the next 60, 90 days, whatever. Just hypothetically, I don't know. Again, don't know. I hear a lot. That's all I got.
Okay.
But I hear a lot all directions. I mean, if I literally got on the show every day and said, oh, here's what I hear, this would be Drudge Report 1999. Like, it'd be some right.
Well, Drudge made a lot of money, so let's think about that.
They did pick up that one thing that was pretty good back in the day. They hit on that one.
They hit on that blue dress.
Yeah. Now they hit a lot wrong, too, though. That's my point.
They got that one right.
You think people would hear that? You think people would listen to that, the podcast? I'm just going to tell you everything I heard yesterday.
Oh, there's no doubt.
It might be true. It might not be true. I don't know.
There's no doubt. We could do a segment of What'd You Hear?
Just what'd you hear?
Yeah.
That might not be a bad idea.
It would be libelous, slanderous, all of those things, but...
Yeah, going, hey, this is what somebody told me. I don't know. How believable? Well, I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's what we heard.
There's categories of believable. There's the people that tell you something, you go, hey, that is true. Then there's the category go, they hit just a high enough percentage you might want to go check that out just in case. It's probably wrong, but occasionally they fall over an acorn somewhere.
And then there's that game where you start a message and you run it through the crowd.
Play telephone a little bit.
And by the time you get to the 300th person, it's not exactly the same story that person one said.
Typically.
We get a lot of that.
But point being, sorry about that, there's a selection process. I mean, there's going to be an interim. I mean, whenever there is a chancellor switch, whether it's now or in 2028, I mean, hair on people's stand up a little bit. Whenever that is, yeah, it's a process. I mean, you're talking interims and IHL and Ole Miss recommendation. I mean, it's a big deal. So, anyway, I'm tired of talking about all that. You can find more at rebelgrove.com. I wrote a lot. I just started typing and kept typing last night. So I threw a bunch of stuff out. You can find that on the site. Again, I'll link it out front when the podcast is over because I frankly should have done that, but I went to sleep instead.
Your brother's sarcasm meter has just exploded.
When he doesn't work for an institution anymore, that appears to elevate that. Let's go into some lines for the week. Ole Miss is off, but Neal's pick is not off. We're still going to have a Neal's picks on Friday, I would assume, Mr. McCready?
Yes.
Are we? Okay.
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it.
All right, let's look at what some lines are. How'd you do this week? We started the day on fire.
Let's pull the games up from last week because I don't remember. Can we find that? Let's see.
Hold on.
I did okay.
The late night was not good to me.
No, I missed on LSU State. I had originally started with LSU covering and then kind of got talked out of it. Not blaming anybody. It's my fault.
All right, Tulsa got the crap out of them at Arkansas. Everybody won that.
Won that one.
Yeah, all right. Neil and I won that. I haven't looked at everybody else. Actually, no, Jeffrey had it too. Okay, he had a 6-point game, and it was 5.5 was the line. Everybody got Auburn, Ole Miss.
Yep.
Or the three of us did at least. Everybody got Alabama, or the three of us did at least.
Yes.
That was 28. Is that right?
It's 28.5, and they rolled it.
Yeah, all good. I miss Missouri. I actually had Memphis covering that game.
I think I had Missouri cover.
You're good. You had Missouri covering that game. They wore them out. We all missed Mississippi State LSU.
Yeah.
We all had LSU winning, but State covering.
Yeah.
I don't think Vanderbilt covered either. I don't think Kentucky covered either.
What was the line?
11.5.
No, they won by 7. They did not cover.
So Vanderbilt covered there.
So I went 4-2. You went 3-3.
That is correct.
If we can do this about 300 more weeks like that,
you'll catch up. It'll be all in. So there's that for this weekend's games.
Okay.
Find the SEC game. Several teams are off, I believe. I think it's a pretty small slate this week.
The cocktail party is back to being a big game for the first time in a long time.
All right, we're going to open up with Vanderbilt. The Commodores coming off that cover against Kentucky. They are on the road in Fayetteville, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas.
Ooh.
What's the line?
Vanderbilt playing much better on the defensive side of the football, not so much on the offensive side. Arkansas won with a freshman quarterback last week against a bad Tulsa team.
23-0, I think.
Chad Morris still.
Hold on. That Arkansas team shut someone out.
Yep. Tulsa's bad. But I'm telling you when I say this.
Tulsa's coach was like the number one name to know going into last season, Philip Montgomery.
Strike while the iron's hot, boys and girls.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'll guess the line is Arkansas minus 3.5.
You're in the ballpark. When this thing first posted on Vegas Insider yesterday, some intern put an extra digit in it. The line is Arkansas opened at 2. It is now at 1. It is a 1-point line right now. Okay. But when it first opened yesterday, it was Arkansas by 20.
Ooh, give me Vanderbilt the points, please.
Yeah, could have locked that one in and felt really good about that one at that point. So yeah, they've since corrected, and it is anywhere from 1 to 2.5, depending on where you'd like to grab it at right now. But you can find it in any of those lines.
Man, if you watch that game, you just love football. I mean, seriously, if you sit down on your Saturday, what time's that game? 11?
I think.
If you sit down at 11 a.m. on your Saturday and you watch Arkansas Vanderbilt to its completion, you need to take a step back and reevaluate who you are as a human. What's going on in your life? Why? Because on the list of things that could be done that would be more productive, sleep, curl up in the fetal position somewhere and just cry, are all more productive than watching that game.
Texas Tech on the road this weekend. They are at Iowa State. Iowa State by 5 is the line for that one in Ames. They've already knocked off their Giants this year though.
They're Texas Tech's not ranked.
Don't think so.
So it's not a big deal. But if you're ranked and you go to Ames, pack a lunch.
Yeah, they're going to lose to everybody else, but they'll get you. He's going to make a lot of money one day.
Yeah, he needs to think about striking too.
Clemson minus 17 at Florida State. Who cares?
Dabo Swinney cares.
He does. What?
Nothing.
Why does he care?
I don't think he likes Florida State much.
Really? Even with Jimbo gone?
Yeah.
Really?
I think that's a.
Think he's going to cover that line Saturday?
Yes.
Okay. The Purdue Boilermakers coming off their big win against Ohio State last weekend. They are playing Michigan State in East Lansing this weekend. Michigan State favored by 2 against Purdue. So, okay, Purdue beats Ohio State but loses to Eastern Michigan. College football, ladies and
Eastern
gentlemen.
Kentucky.
Eastern Michigan.
Was it Eastern Michigan or Eastern Kentucky?
Michigan.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
First of all, that story Saturday with Tyler Trent, the sophomore from Purdue.
Right.
More people like me sat in rooms by themselves and watched the end of a Purdue game in tears than maybe ever in the history of sport. That is as great as an awful story. That's as great of a moment as sports is going to give you. Sports in general will have a hard time topping that.
When you really look at everything that kid went through to even just get there that
just
day.
To be there. And for Purdue to play out of its mind. It does. I mean, I always joke with people like, well, you know, God hates the Rebels, or God hates the Tigers, or God loves Alabama. I always go, I don't think God has a football team, in my opinion. You watch that and you're like, I don't know, maybe Saturday God loved Purdue. Maybe on Saturday God said, you know what, Purdue's going to get this one. Because that was something else.
They played out of their mind.
It was powerful. It was powerful. Purdue just destroyed Ohio State. You watched that game, and if someone had dropped you down in there and said one of these teams is ranked number 2 in the country, without hesitation, somewhere in the second quarter, you would have been, Purdue, man, Jeff Brom getting it done, huh? Wow.
Yeah, if you had a coma for the last, 18 months.
You would have said, man, that scandal really impacted Ohio State, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It was an absolute whipping. I mean, Purdue had so much team speed. You're like, when did that dude start running that fast?
Yeah, Greg Dole sat with Tyler Shrimp for about half the game and wrote about it. Did a really, really good job.
Yeah, I retweeted that column. It's in 10 Thoughts. If you haven't read it and you need some perspective today on anything, whether it's football or life or anything, go read that.
I've said this multiple times. I mean, Doyle will write some stuff that I just shake my head at, and he can be whatever, but his storytelling makes me follow an Indianapolis writer when I have zero interest in Indiana whatsoever.
No.
But his writing is great, and I go, okay, human interest-wise, I'll read it.
When he stays in that lane, he is phenomenal.
Yeah. Colt stuff, I just roll my eyes, but the actual human stuff, he's great.
He writes columns about people.
Yeah.
They're really, really good. I mean, I'm telling you, it's elite.
Yeah,
his storytelling ability, and that story is just an amazing story because that's a kid. I mean, I tell you what hit me, and I'm gonna try to get through this without crying about it. What hit me watching that game Saturday, and everybody had gone to bed, and I'm in here watching. I'm flipping. I was watching some NBA game. I can't remember. Maybe it was Lakers. Rockets, I don't know. And I was watching Purdue, and they showed the pictures of him before the cancer. And a couple of them reminded me so much of Carson, just this beautiful boy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, handsome, and he looked like he was going to be a big, strong kid. And then cancer just ravages him. And you see what he looks like today. And the spirit and all, it's just God almighty, man. And then Purdue starts winning the game. I don't watch game day in the mornings. I just don't watch it anymore for multiple reasons. And I didn't know the story until about halftime of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I flipped to it because I saw the score. Purdue was in it, winning it. And it just was amazing. Like, Ohio State scored a touchdown to kind of pull back into the game. And you're like, oh, no, it's going to stink. And then Purdue just immediately responds with the score. Now I'm like, I'm in. Put the remote down. I'm in. And then as that game ended, I mean, I'll admit it. 'Cause I'm a human. I have a soul. I was sitting in here. I was crying by myself watching Ohio State and Purdue. I was so happy for that family.
Yeah. It was hard to watch. But no, good segue. We're going to a break here and come back, finish the lines up in a second. The Wizard of Oz was last night at the Ford Center.
Saw that.
Full house there. So thanks to everybody that checked that out. Those of you that obviously did because you heard about it here on the podcast. The Oxford Art Crawl is tomorrow. Yeah, sorry. You got the Great 38, Chucky Mullins Foundation run is this weekend. You got a 3-mile, you got an 8-mile on Saturday, you got a half marathon on Sunday.
You still running?
Yeah, I'm running the 8 on Saturday.
Okay.
I ran 7 this morning, the last kind of lengthy run.
Attaboy.
I ran 7 miles in 28-degree weather this morning.
Ooh.
I'm an idiot.
You are. It's miserable.
Yeah. Well, I told you I've got to go have blood drawn in a little while too, so I can't even eat until I do that either. I picked a really dumb day.
They drug testing you or something?
No, I just get my physical and they do blood work for whatever. So it was whatever. And I don't think Rivals requires a blood test or anything.
No,
at this point,
probably not.
Yeah,
it's probably a safe bet.
Probably a lot of people that wouldn't be able to to pass that one. And the stop. All right. Anyway,
you talking about Rivals, or we talking about other networks also?
Just talking in general.
Okay.
Sorry. I'll continue now. Next week, November 2nd, the last time to take advantage of one of those double-decker bus tours, the Friday before Ole Miss home football games. 2 o'clock for that. I saw a bus coming through on Friday as I was walking on the square. It was packed as well. Everything was packed this weekend. It was nuts. So that and more, you can check the full calendar of events at visitoxfordms.com/events. With no football game this weekend, maybe the perfect time to come. You can park, you can eat, pick your restaurants, have a splendid time in Oxford. So again, visit oxfordms.com.
The podcast also brought to you in part by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you've been thinking about that golf trip with the guys, maybe the anniversary trip she'll never forget, whether you've dreamed of playing St. Andrews or sitting at a cafe in Paris, talk to John Edwards before you try to do it yourself. Why use John? Well, he's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows John to supply his clients with added values and unique benefits that are simply not available to other travelers. John traveled the globe for 37 years before getting into the travel business, so he knows the extra attention that is needed to make a special trip one that creates a lifetime of unique memories. So if you're thinking about going with the boys to Pebble Beach or taking her to Napa for the vacation of her dreams, call John, give him some parameters and a budget, and let him give you some options. And know this, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. Call John 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. Also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. Pardon me, if you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, there's no place better to go than Grenada Nissan. It's just off Interstate 55 in Grenada. Gene and Sandy Grass have been friends of this podcast. They've been friends of this website for a long time. Been terrific to us. They'll be terrific to you as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. Ask about their lease deals. If they don't have something on the lot, they'll get it for you. They'll take great care of you. They're just terrific people. It's a terrific dealership. You'll be thrilled that you did business with them. This podcast also brought to you by Oxford University Bank. OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home, all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with a personal touch. When you call OUB, you speak directly with the live person, all without having to press 10 buttons, without a 5-minute wait. OUB offers its customers the absolute best cash checking account. It's called Kasasa, and with Kasasa, OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000. With Kasasa, ATM fees nationwide are refunded. OUB also offers online bill pay and mobile check deposit using its online app. To learn more about OUB, check out liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB, FDIC insured.
Time to get your flu shot. If you have not already, I might should take advantage of that today as well, considering I'm an idiot. As we previously mentioned, G&M Pharmacy, they're on South Lamar. Walk-ins welcome. Go get that flu shot. They accept most insurance providers. If they do, you just got to walk in and get it. No charge to you. If not, $25 for that flu shot. So they're very, very helpful. Plenty of different services available also. They got appliance packaging, and they deliver in the Oxford area. So, again, that's G&M Pharmacy on South Lamar. Okay, back to lines for the week. Neil, your Northwestern Wildcats are at home this week. They are playing Wisconsin. They are getting 6 points against the Badgers this week.
Go Wildcats.
Go Wildcats, huh?
It's exciting.
Exciting?
What time's that game? Do you know?
I do. Would you like to know?
Yeah.
That game is at 11 a.m.
Oh, there you go.
You're getting an 11 a.m. Northwestern game on Saturday on and off week. That's a big one for you right there. So, all right, going down the list, TCU 14 over Kansas. Okay, cocktail party. I don't think they can call it that anymore, though. I think that was not PC enough. I think they just say something else. Maybe it's just the world's largest party.
I call it the world's largest cocktail party.
I don't think they can do that anymore.
Well, I can.
That thing's always rough. It's hostile.
It's
and I mean fan bases before the game. I don't mean teams on the field.
It's funny. I've covered it numerous times.
People have died at that thing.
It's 50-50 on the tickets, which I'm still shocked Florida and Georgia agree to this. In today's age of money, I don't know how you do that. It's 50-50. I'm not the world's biggest city of Jacksonville fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, to an outside perspective, sometimes it looks kind of dirty.
Okay.
And it's usually kind of hot, and everybody's so drunk. And they get in the stands, and it's mean. It's a bigger rivalry than you think it is.
Yeah, that's not one that sticks out to me when I'm just talking.
It's a bigger rivalry than you think it is. It's okay. It's okay.
Georgia hate Florida or Auburn more?
They hate Florida more than they hate Auburn. The Auburn-Georgia rivalry is not as hated. It's more of a...
It feels almost ceremonial in a way.
It is kind of ceremonial. Yeah.
Okay.
Florida-Georgia is more hate.
Not happy with one another.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Shouldn't Florida-Georgia line sing at every cocktail party?
Oh, God.
I mean, they're bad, but wouldn't it be perfect for them to go play that?
What's the line?
The line is...
Speaking of, the Florida-Georgia line.
The Florida-Georgia line is Georgia -5.
You want to double that? 9.
No, really?
Georgia by 9.
Give me the Gators.
It's come back down to 7.
Give me the Gators.
Okay. We'll let that one go. It might actually go back up. I'm going to leave that one alone for a little while. Oklahoma's going to get healthy against Kansas State. 21.5 on that one as I'm scrolling down. This one's interesting. Kentucky. Coming off the win over Vanderbilt where I think they had 16 passing yards or something. They just hand the thing to Benny Snell and go about their day. They won the game. It was ugly, but a win's a win. Setting up a potentially huge game soon if they can get by this one. They are on the road facing the Missouri Tigers this weekend. The Wildcats and the Tigers.
Problem here. Kentucky's developing a problem. They can't move the ball
What's the line?
all through the air. The line is Missouri -1.
The line is Missouri by 7.5.
Oh, wow. See, Vegas sees the same thing I see. I watched some of Kentucky and Vanderbilt the other night. If Vanderbilt had anything on offense, they win the game.
Kentucky's kind of making this work, but it's certainly flawed. It's anywhere between 6 and 7.5 right now is the line for Kentucky and Missouri. I mean, it screams take the points, but
I'm not sure. Got my worries.
Kentucky's pretty good defensively.
They are. They better be. Lock's good.
Missouri's defense still sucks.
Is awful. What time's that game?
3 o'clock.
I got a chance to watch that.
You can do it. Northwestern, Wisconsin, Kentucky, Missouri doubleheader.
This is where I should have fixed my big green egg. It's too late now. I'm not doing it.
You had people offer to do it for you. Literally.
Well, but he never followed up at all, that guy. He was going to bring it. He was going to.
Did you
I was going to get the part. No, but I don't even know his name.
Actually, he said, tell Chase to give you my number and we will whatever.
So this is all your fault.
Well, you didn't tell Chase to give you his number.
Oh, that's true. So it's my fault.
Yeah. I can only be the middleman for things I'm told to be the middleman for.
That's true.
Just saying. Texas A&M.
Hugh Freeze could have used some middlemen.
Could have. Layers, if you will.
Yeah.
Texas A&M on the road.
It's a good thing he's in Arizona because you don't need layers out there much.
Somebody told me his first game's at Memphis.
Really?
Yeah. On the Liberty Bowl. They played the Express or something. What's the Memphis team?
I don't know.
You okay over there?
Yep.
All right. Texas A&M at Mississippi State this weekend in Starkville. The Aggies and the Bulldogs. A lot of maroon.
A lot of maroon.
The line has not moved. It opened at a number, and it's still at the number.
We're not doing the snowball thing this year, right?
Oh, let's do that. Let's commemorate the Independence Bowl. A&M was really confused.
They were like, why are we doing this? This is not. We don't honor Independence Bowls. Like, why is this such a big deal?
We went 6-6.
Yeah, we fired everyone. We killed the collie.
Whoa. It is the most overrated mascot in the country.
Yes.
There's no doubt in my mind. Reveille is the most overrated mascot in the country.
Yes, Lassie. It's a small Lassie.
And he has this, mythical god-like status on that campus. Like, if he's somewhere you can't move him, he just takes residence.
What happens if he, does what dogs do sometimes when they're out walking about?
I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I'm just telling you, it's a very...
Yeah, that's weird. Place is weird.
I mean, you look at... Bully might be one of the most underrated mascot in the SEC, but it's because Uga's in the league, too, partly.
But Uga has been so overbred that he doesn't
He's got problems.
He doesn't make it. Bully lives a while.
I don't know.
Lives longer than a year.
Yeah, Uga's had some issues.
I mean, Uga's been
yeah, it's all the same line.
Egyptian kings back in the day. Made it to 12.
King Tut.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike's still up there by himself, but
yeah.
But Bully's underrated because of Uga.
Yeah, and I know this is sacrilegious to say it here, but I think Uga's better looking than Bully.
Well, yeah, the all-white bulldog is very attractive.
But the all-white bulldog that's dead in 14 months, that's tough.
Uga going to the Heisman thing with Walker and wearing the tux is still one of the
that was well done.
That's a different level. Because the eagle isn't because they're tigers too. So when you have multiple, it just kind of becomes this weird deal. It doesn't count as much.
Yeah, I got to give Auburn credit here.
But you always give Auburn credit. You're always going to go back to it's good, it's great.
Aubie's a really good mascot.
But they can have two.
And
it brings Eagles down.
The Eagle's not a mascot.
They fly the thing around the stadium and then chant his name.
Well, the whole War Eagle thing over and over and over is cultish.
Okay. You can't fly the eagle around the thing and go, Tiger's our only mascot. I mean,
we went to the visited Auburn this summer.
They don't have a real tiger though, do they? Yeah. Again, Mike's in the league.
Yeah, everything was War Eagle. It's like aloha, War Eagle. Just say hello.
Won't that bother you?
I don't know, but it did, and I was so relieved when my daughter got in the truck and she goes, "What's up with the War Eagle thing? Why is that constant?" I don't know. It's a good question. It drives me crazy. Can't you just say good morning?
So finish your thought. What's good about Aubie?
Aubie's he's a good mascot. He's a tiger. Everybody likes a tiger. We talked about this earlier. Everyone likes
he's
the tiger.
He's a good mascot. He's fine.
Aubie's a good mascot. He's funny, and he swings his tail around, and the way they have his face, kids like him.
You would think that you'd be a little off-putting because he looks always kind of slender and kind of malnourished, but it sort of works somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's lean.
He's not a big tiger.
No.
He's a very just kind of.
We used to joke about that. He looks so thin, he's going to eat a kid at one of these points.
Yeah, it's like Ethiopian tiger.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that. He can really run.
Yeah. Think there's any Kenyans in the race this weekend?
In Oxford?
Yeah.
Probably not. If there are, you lost.
I'm screwed.
Yeah. I was literally at the halfway mark in the Chicago Marathon, and it was better hurry. The Kenyans are drinking your beer. It's sure enough, they're done.
This line, by the way, is Mississippi State -3 against A&M on Saturday.
It's a tough game for Mississippi State. Fitzgerald is so bad
They
passing.
cannot throw the football.
I mean, if you just commit yourself to stopping the run, LSU had the goods to stop the run.
Mm-hmm. Big one in Palo Alto this weekend. Gardner Minshew and the Washington State Cougars, 3-point underdogs at Stanford this weekend.
Can I just say how happy I am for Gardner Minshew?
Yeah, of course. I like Gardner. Good
I like
kid.
Gardner. I like his dad.
Yeah.
I think his sister reached out to me once. Nice people. Good for them. Happy for the
Took
kid.
a gamble, and it paid off.
Happy for the kid.
Could have gone to Troy or somewhere and said, no, I'm going to.
And I think at one point he was going to go. Was it he that was going to go to Alabama and learn how to coach?
Well, he was going to be basically the third or fourth string at Bama and just be on the roster. And
And then Mike Leach said, come on. And
Yeah.
he said, okay.
So he went to Northwest, he went to East Carolina, and now at Washington State.
It's a great story. Happy for that kid. Really happy for that
Huge
kid.
game on national television against Oregon last week.
Yeah. Yeah, against Justin Herbert, who people are starting to do the suck for the duck thing.
Yeah.
Boy.
I'd rather not if I was given the choice.
I don't know. It reminds you it's so hard to find a quarterback.
So 3-point line.
As the
Stanford
Dallas Cowboys can tell you.
over Washington State. Ooh, that wasn't good.
You think you have a quarterback, and then you find out you don't have a quarterback. He's not an NFL quarterback. He's just not. What's the line? Stanford and who? And Washington State?
3.5.
In Palo Alto, 3.5. Yeah, that's a good
That's
game.
about right.
That's a good game.
No line yet for Tennessee and South Carolina. Somebody's injured. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure. Might be Bentley still. I'm really not positive. That's it. Very, very
Tennessee's
limited.
got a chance against South Carolina because Tennessee did the right thing against Alabama. They just went out there and go, we're going to get killed. Let's move on.
A lot of Tennessee fans were mad. It was like, what'd you expect? Like, what?
Oh, they were mad because of the game?
Yeah.
Did you think you were going to cover the line? Stop, people, I'm telling you. This Alabama team is historically good.
The offense is stupid.
This is what the Golden State Warriors would look like if they added Paul George, James Harden,
Basically, the Western Conference All-Stars playing everyone else.
Anthony Davis, and brought them off the bench. Add Anthony Davis as your starting center, and then go out and get Paul George, James Harden, Giannis, and a couple other cats, and put them on your bench.
But see, that's what's funny about this is Bama's defense is just good. Just good.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
Not elite, just good.
But it's on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a solid 7,
Yeah.
and that's more than enough.
Yeah.
To beat LSU, you're going to beat Alabama. You're going to have to score in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that there's a team left on their schedule that can even sniff 40 points.
Yeah.
LSU, no. Auburn, no. I mean, probably Georgia in the SEC title game or Florida. Neither one of those teams are scoring in the 40s against Alabama.
No, not the 40s.
And then you get into the playoff. I mean, the only team out there that could sniff that maybe is Clemson. Maybe.
They would give up 85, but could Oklahoma score on them?
Yeah, but I don't know if they can get in the 40s. They might get in the 20s.
It's an interesting poll here. We're going to our last break in a second. Question from Jeff Ketchum yesterday. Texas Rivals guy.
I'm aware.
Yeah, for everybody else.
Yeah.
The guy
You
that
looked
said
at me
the
like,
idiot thing
you know,
about
Jeff.
Treadwell last time.
Yeah.
Question for the Texas fans out there. Which is the better way to end the season? I don't know who they have left. I have no idea how realistic this is anyway.
Okay.
Run the table, win the Big 12 title, finish 5th for the playoff, win a major bowl game, and then finish number 4.
Okay.
Run the table, win the Big 12 title, make the playoff, get annihilated by Alabama, and then finish number 6.
The first, not the second.
You think the first is better?
Absolutely.
Go to the Cotton Bowl or something and win it.
Yeah, because you're trying to build.
42% agreed with you. 58% said make the playoff.
And those are the people that
But see, that's where I'm going. You should really check out the comments.
we could get them.
There's a large percentage that believes you're undervaluing us. We can just beat Alabama.
No, you're not.
And it's like, come
You have
on,
no
guys.
chance. Texas could play Alabama 100 times. You wouldn't win one.
I mean, even Ketchum's like, guys, like that's not.
Well, I did Peter Burns' show the day, but he got mad at me. I did it the day before the Ole Miss Alabama game, and he goes, "Give me a % chance of Ole Miss beating Alabama," and I said, "Okay, 0." And they said, "No, really?" And I said, "Well, really, 0. There's no way." What if? No way. Texas, the answer is no way.
0.
The % chance that Texas beats Alabama on a neutral field playing in a national semifinal game is 0. There is no chance.
Yeah. Podcast brought to you in part by Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting processing is done in Memphis. You're getting local underwriting. It understands your market, a leader in condo financing and the float down option. So you can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLowe, JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
Megan Phillips with LAH Real Estate is the person to call for all of your real estate needs in the Birmingham area. With almost a decade of experience, Megan's knowledge and expertise can help you buy or sell your home today. Visit our website, meganmphillips.com. That's MEAGANM Phillips.com. Or call Megan at 205-602-7929. Again, 205-602-7929.
We said all that different things. We've been talking about footballs and atmospheres and whatnot, but it's that kind of weekend for good people. First off, I know that we talk about this a lot, but glad that Ben and David Craddock honored on Saturday night. The amount of things they do for the state of Mississippi and the community, frankly, we don't talk about enough. People don't talk about enough. A lot of it goes unsaid, so I was happy that the National Football Foundation honored them for that work on Saturday, because it's much deserved. They're family to us, but they do a ton of things. He sent me a picture on Friday night. He was able to meet Henry Ulrich that was in town over the weekend. I had breakfast with Henry on Friday. Ole Miss again, above and beyond in helping him with some things that have been talked about and haven't been talked about. So just, all this negative stuff we've been talking about, but a lot of good people doing a lot of good things that still is kind of going under the radar in a lot of ways. So just a couple shouts out there for those different topics. The NFL yesterday, Rams moved to 7-0, just annihilated the 49ers. Saints got very lucky and won a game in Baltimore yesterday, 5-1 now for the Saints. Justin Tucker was 222 of 222 on extra points in his career and missed one with 20 seconds to go to tie the game yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. After this, the Ravens got the ball back with 2 minutes left and one timeout, drove down and scored with 20 seconds left. Tie it, you're thinking overtime, and Tucker missed the kick.
That's rough.
That's rough.
It's kind of like the Bears. The Bears a yard away from forcing overtime in Chicago against New England. But the Bears got beaten all three phases. It was a good game. It was entertaining.
Well, and it's that weird game with the Saints yesterday where they were trailing for a lot of it. So in some ways, especially with the extra point at the end, I kind of felt like we stole it. But then the Saints had a 20-play drive to open the game and did not score points. In a lot of ways, they kind of dominated it but just couldn't get over the hump. And on the road, cold weather, windy, had an O-line that was pretty banged up. Frankly, a huge win with Vikings and Rams up the next 2 weeks.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, kind of had to get that one going into this next little stretch because New Orleans could be incredibly electric in 2 weeks for Saints Rams.
Mitch Trubisky is a very frustrating quarterback.
What do you mean?
He'll make plays, and then he'll make the dumbest throws.
Got a little Brett Favre in him early in his career.
Got a little Brett Favre without
the arm talent.
Maybe. That's
not good. If you're gonna be Brett Favre, you're gonna need the arm talent.
It was a good game though. New England and Chicago was a fun game. I worked on 10 Thoughts, and it was perfect backdrop for doing 10 Thoughts.
Dylan told me yesterday that Drew Brees' career passing yardage now is 15 seasons worth of 300-yard games.
Yeah,
you would need 300-yard games for 15 seasons.
It's a guy that suffered a significant labrum injury.
He has now beaten all 32 NFL teams. The Ravens were the last one that he needed to get yesterday.
I like his Hall of Fame chances.
It's got a shot.
Got a chance.
He went over 500 touchdown passes yesterday as well.
Feels significant.
The yardage wasn't crazy, but from just a playmaking standpoint, maybe had one of the better games I've ever seen him play yesterday. I mean, just did it all himself. Just kind of wheeled that thing to a win yesterday.
He's the guy that it's easy to take for granted. World Series starts tomorrow night.
It does.
Fox is happy. Fox is like, whoo! They're worried.
Who are you for?
Boston.
Why?
Because they're in the American League.
You can't root for the National League even if it's not a team that you've dealt with?
The Cubs have dealt with the Dodgers.
Yeah, but not this year.
No, but we've dealt with them. No, I'm not for Boston. I'm for Boston.
Are you really?
Yeah. I cheered for the Dodgers on Saturday night.
But it was against the Brewers.
Yeah.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Boston is my friend. Go Red Sox.
You'd have been for the Yankees or the Twins or the A's or the Indians or anyone else?
Yep.
Okay. Feels like Boston's going to win.
They're the better team.
All of my personal connections are on the side of Boston, so I should be for the Red Sox.
But you're kind of for the Dodgers.
I'm really not.
Dylan's a big Dodgers fan.
It's lasted 2 years. Come on, that doesn't count. I mean, it's the most bandwagon thing ever. That doesn't count. Wore a Dodgers hat into the house the other day. I'm like, really? Like, what are we doing? He's like the guy, the kid that grows up. It's like, oh, who are you for? Well, I'm for the Cowboys and the Bulls. And it's like
I was for Cleveland, and then I became a Heat fan, and now I'm a Laker fan.
Yeah,
I went back to Cleveland because I felt bad, and now I'm a Lakers fan.
The 14-year-olds just got starter jackets all lined up in their closet for the different teams all over the country.
We'll tell you this: not everything was bad. After a thrilling victory over the Mississippi State Bulldogs, the Ole Miss soccer team back at home on Thursday for senior night at the Ole Miss Soccer Complex. They take on Vanderbilt at 6 p.m. Admission is free, so bring the family out and enjoy Ole Miss soccer Thursday night at 6. See Coach Kermit Davis and the Rebels this season for just $199 with the new Ole Miss Hoops Rebel Flex Pass. For just $199, you'll receive a ticket to all 16 home games. Visit OleMissTix.com to purchase. And don't miss a minute of the action this year at the Pavilion with Coach Yo and the women's hoops team. Get your tickets today for just $50. Tickets can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. That's OleMissTix.com.
I see. Never mind, that's not come out yet, so we'll talk about it later. Podcast the rest of the week. We'll be back tomorrow. Probably talk actually a little more football. We sort of did everything but football today. It's okay. It's bye week. Ole Miss and South Carolina next up. Everybody enjoy your Saturdays. Check out rebelgrove.com in the meantime. I'll have some baseball content, again, getting close to basketball as well, so plenty to consume there and discuss on the message board, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.